Since the age of 10, Todd Ledford has been loco about locomotives. In fact, this 23-year-old's railroad ties are so strong, when he got married earlier this year, he had to set aside a room in his house just to hold his railroad memorabilia. What's his idea of a great date?
Going to the Amtrak at 1 o'clock in the morning to take a picture of a doggone train coming down the road.
She always says she want to do something new.
Todd wrote to Friday Fantasy and told us his dream was to be an engineer on a diesel locomotive. We're going to put Todd's fantasy on the right track right now with a little surprise. Step out here for just a moment, would you please? Jerry Bignotti from News 36. You sent me a letter earlier this week.
Yeah, sure did.
And what did you tell me in that letter?
Well, I'd like to drive a locomotive.
And why is that?
Well, it's something I always wanted to do.
Well, today's your lucky day. We've given you the day off work. We talked with the boss, and we're going to make you the engineer on a railroad.
Oh, gosh. Dream come true.
We went to the North Carolina Transportation Museum in East Spencer and met Hot Shot Williams, a retired engineer and volunteer at the museum.
Todd Ledford, and he wants to be an engineer for the day.
Sure, take your time.
All righty. Before we go, we got a little gift for you here. Take that head off. There you go. You ready? All righty. Let's ride, gentlemen.
The museum is home for more than half a dozen vintage train engines. Some are on display.
Todd, this is a steam locomotive. Your controls are altogether different from a diesel.
That is the...
This is a firebox here, Todd. That's where you build your fire. We build a fire in there, and 2 hours later we got steam, we got a hit of steam on it.
Other engines are in the roundhouse, waiting to be restored to their former glory. Todd looked like a kid in a candy shop. Got room in your yard for something like this?
Oh, we'd make room.
You'd make room.
Oh, yeah.
What would your wife say if you showed up at the door with one of these babies?
Probably wouldn't have a wife after that.
The highlight of a visit here is a trip aboard this 1950s vintage streamlined diesel locomotive. Museum visitors ride aboard 2 restored rail cars, but as honorary engineer, Todd gets a ride in the cab with Hot Shot Williams. For more than 40 years, these hands have held the reins of an iron horse, so Todd has a great teacher in Hot Shot Williams.
Whenever I put that brake down like that, the only thing I'm trying to do is make the train ride smooth. Keep slack from running in and out. People go back there, they'll talk about you, bad handling. Anytime you go over a road crossing like this, that bell is supposed to be ringing and the whistle blowing.
Well, what is it about trains that thrills you?
Well, don't get me wrong, a lot of people think women's pretty. I do too, but, you know, I also think a piece of machinery is pretty too. This happens to be my favorite piece. You know, I just like the way it looks, I guess.
Well, what do you have to say about people's dreams and fantasies now that you've had a chance to experience this?
Well, if you just be patient, they'll come true. Mine did, you know.